So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You are now here in the seminar of Work Package 2, Center of Excellence on Dual Higher Education. And I want to welcome you to sign in to our attendance list later on, if the attendance list will be available in some minutes. We now have 10 sessions for today, which are, or 10 presentations, which are divided into 3 sessions. You will see that in the agenda, and if you want, you can, or you will automatically receive a certificate for participation in this seminar. And feel free, like yesterday, to put your questions to the auditorium here, so to involve the people. We want to have an exchange. It's an exchange seminar, and we want to be in contact with you, our stakeholders, and our interested audience here to learn about dual higher education in Europe. So I give the floor now to Silvia, who is the first to introduce us to her topic.
Yes.
Yeah. You have the microphone?
I guess so. I don't know whether it's working or not.
Work?
No.
Okay, it works.
Does it work? Oh, okay, great, yeah.
Now we first have to wake up. You, please.
Okay.
We have to start this now. We had some issues with the slides, but now I hope that it works.
Okay.
Yeah, here we are.
Okay.
So this is Silvia Varga, and she will talk about
Yes.
the instrument for assessing the soft skills
Yes.
in dual higher education.
Okay, thank you, Ursula. And I would like to welcome everybody. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues. It's my honor to. Can you hear?
This microphone is only for the recording, I understood, but it doesn't help for the room.
Is it? Do you hear me?
Yeah. Speak loud.
Big loud now? Okay, so I'm trying to shout, right? Okay, so once again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor to be here, and welcome to this session. And I would like to share our research with you. So it's a pilot research, and we try to develop an instrument for assessing soft skills in dual higher education. How it works. Okay, so first, let me talk about the introduction. So, as you know, or as we have talked about it, dual education integrates university training and practical workplace hands-on experiences at companies. And it's very important because employers want to get employees who can do the job from the first day of their working experience. So that's why soft skills are becoming more and more important nowadays, even more important sometimes than hard skills. But maybe you can ask, what are soft skills and why are they important? So they are sort of intangible because there are lots of different definitions for soft skills. They can be called 21st century skills or transversal skills or workplace skills. So these skills actually relate to all skills which are related to working with others, working with other people. So they involve like communication, they involve teamwork, and lots of other things. And also there are a lot of different approaches to soft skills. Yeah, okay, so let's see. So we made an instrument together with my colleague, Norbert Shagi. So we are both from John von Neumann University, that I forgot to say because of the technological problems. But now you can see, and she can stand here. So Norbert Shagi, and we work together on this instrument. So our experiment was aimed to construct a valid and usable instrument for measuring soft skills. So how did we do that? So we had the research questions related to how usable it is, whether it's reliable or not. So that was the first experiment with it, first survey. So we tested 185 students at our university in 3 faculties. You can see the numbers there. And now let's move on. Thank you very much, Ursula. That's great. So the instrument. So in the first part, we asked a few questions about them. So it was an anonym. So of course, we didn't ask for their names or email address, nothing like this. It's absolutely voluntary and absolutely anonymous. We made sure, because more students, we could get more students to answer the questions. So we asked for about their gender, age, faculty, semester, and whether they are dual students or non-dual students, permanent, whether they have permanent workplace or they don't. And we have chosen a 6-point Likert scale where the not important was, so after that there was the second part. In the second part, we asked how important the following soft skills are for you, right? Are for the workplace, right? Basically. So, and which were these soft skills? Soft skills were teamwork. Why so? Why teamwork? Because in literature you find a lot of references about how teamwork is important. So companies want strong teams because they are effective communication. So if workers can communicate, that makes a very good working atmosphere. Time management, they of course should prioritize. That's also very important. Foreign language skills, that was my special interest because we teach, I teach special English, and I wanted to find out how important these are. Presentation skills, creativity, critical thinking, stress tolerance, autonomy, and adaptability. And in the third part, they had to evaluate themselves, how good you are, how good you feel you are, and those fields using a Likert scale. So how true are the following statements for you? So I had like several items, altogether 30 items to test. So not just one item for one skill, but more than one items. Okay, so thank you, Ursula. What are the results? So this was the first attempt, as I said, with 185 students. However, we continued, and apparently we got even better Kronbach-Alpha. This is kind of acceptable, but if we tested, since then we tested it on a bigger sample, and it shows better Kronbach-Alpha. You know that this is about the reliability of your instrument. And what we found, so the students put primary importance on communication, time management, stress tolerance, autonomy, and adaptability. I was thinking about why, maybe. So that's the general, that's the over, the whole sample, so that's so important. Probably the others, they don't find so important. So we did further research to clear about why, but apparently I think they realized that these things are very important for working at a company. Okay, let's go on. Thank you, Ursula. And so according to the self-evaluation, you can see that they evaluated themselves when the strengths, even with the strong points, you can find almost the same things. But with the lower values. So they think that they are not very good or not so good as they found these important. And there's a new one, and the new one will be, I think, teamwork. So they think that in teamwork they are good, but they don't think that it's that important. So there's a sort of contradiction. What are the weaknesses? Foreign language skills. presentation skill, creativity, and critical thinking. Yes, okay. And what about soft skills through gender lens, women and men? What they thought? So very similar, gave similar answers, partly. Like they thought that communication skills, stress tolerance, and autonomy are important. And for male students, they think that time management is important as well. I don't know, maybe it's because boys always they have problems with time, you know, putting things to the last minute. I don't know. We need further research and also according to the self-evaluation, skills to be improved. So basically, I think I stepped further because in these they thought they have weaker. They are weaker. They thought that they are weaker in this, and then I thought that maybe it should be something that should be improved. So these are like foreign language skills, presentation skills, both for males and females, and for male students, time management. So it's not just important, it should be improved. And apparently, women thought that they're not that good in creativity. So could you please then? All right, so studying in different semesters. So what we thought is that the students in the sixth semester evaluate soft skills higher than students in the first semester. So that's something that they must learn, I think. So they learn something at university, so their soft skills are getting better, which is great, I think. And so these are the, so this is what we can see, that in communication skills, foreign language skills, and autonomy, they think that they are very important or more important. And they get better, as I said, except for time management and foreign language skills. We have to find out why. So in some soft skills, they are not getting better. And so with dual students, we found that dual students attach greater importance to all of the soft skills. So that's very interesting. And they evaluate themselves higher in almost all the soft skills. And I think that's an important point here. And it's also true for the students with permanent workplace that they attach higher importance to soft skills, like teamwork, communication skills. So they're very similar to the one we saw with the dual students. So maybe we can make a point that the students who have permanent workplace think similarly. So the soft skills, they realize the soft skills are important. So it's something we have to do research and focus on because it's important, as it was said, and we heard about it, that it's really something to concentrate on. So actually, I think that's what we can say, and let's go to the conclusion. So our study showed the following things: that we created an instrument which is usable and it's valid. Of course, not just according to the Kronbach-Alpha, but also the correlation coefficients showed good results. And as I mentioned, we continued the research with a bigger sample. Now I have more respondents on this test, and it's even better. And also, we found that students attach greater importance to the following soft skills, like communication, stress tolerance, and time management, adaptability, and autonomy. So these are the most important for them. Girls and boys gave partly different, partly same or similar answers, and I don't want to repeat it. And students who study in the higher semesters attach more importance to soft skills, and dual students evaluate themselves and appreciate higher soft skills higher than the ones who are not. Okay, so thank you very much. for your question. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you. Thank you.
We have some questions?
Yeah. Okay.
Nancy was first.
Nancy.
Thank you, Sylvia, for a very nice and comprehensive presentation.
Oh, thank you.
I would like to ask, have you already taken some actions? Have you already taken some actions to improve those soft skills?
I started to collect. So there is an article being written about it. So we too are writing an article, and a part of the article is about developing, how to develop. And I made research on it, and we start. So this is the next step. So first is the assessment, and the next step is the development of soft skills. So yes, but you know that there are steps to take, and we can like shortcut to things. So yes, we have actually. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your question.
Where's the next day? Hi, and good morning.
Good
Thank
morning.
you for the presentation.
Oh, thank you.
I find soft skills a critical issue and something that
It's only for the video recording.
something that we in the dual education do well, better than others.
Yeah.
May I suggest as a trick,
Yeah.
call up any artificial intelligence like Claude, yeah, and ask it, how can you teach or strengthen soft skills in higher education? And it will list, as an artificial intelligence would, 10 or 12 suggestions.
Yeah, we have the list.
And it's exactly what we do well in dual education.
Yeah, well, actually, we have the list. I said that we haven't started the intervention program. So we need intervention program, and that's it. So I just said that, of course, the theoretical background is there. So we know, I know, but we will start. So in my field, I do it, I develop. We have, my students have to give presentations in the lesson. That's one of the, so 40% of the grade is given by giving presentations. Yes, so that's all. And also teamwork is also strengthened. So I do it in practice. If it's what you
No, well, I'm just affirming that this is the right forum, and we should just keep insisting on the dual education, because that exactly strengthens your modus operandi.
Yeah, I do it in practice, but it's not written as an article.
Okay. And a curious question. How long is your survey? You have a questionnaire. How long is that survey? That has quite a number of items.
At 30 questions plus this, I think, 6, this general question 6, and the survey, the items, there are 30 items altogether.
So for the 6, I mean, some of these topics like communication have 6 or 7 items each?
No, 10, there are 10 soft skills and 3 items for each.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much for the questions.
Question on the left side of the A.
So thanks a lot for the presentation and the insights in your results. I was just wondering, the list of competences or skills you mentioned, where did you gather them from? So literature research in advance, or?
Yes. Literature research, partly. You can get a lot of different instruments, but researchers don't really reveal their instruments. And also, I was motivated by the practice, by the practicability. I didn't want very many, but more than one, because then you can, in SPSS, we use SPSS, and you need to, for, counting the averages, you need this, you need more than one item. So, and the Kronbach alpha was made according to the items. So you have to realize all the items and also the correlation. So that's what you asked. Okay,
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes,
The microphone.
Just Thank you very much. I beg your pardon and understanding for the micro problems. The one micro is used for the video recording, but the in-house micro, our guys are working hard on it, that it will work within the next minutes. And meanwhile, we have also the list to subscribe for getting the certificate. I leave it to Mr. Schäfer so that you can
attendance
sign
list.
now.
Yeah, so this is an attendance list, and we really ask you to fill in your signature. It is prepared with all those names who have registered for this dual higher education track. But if you did not register for this, no worry, just add your name at the bottom of this list or on the reverse side. Please, that would be really nice. We have a lot of time to do that. Now we go into depth with the next topic. We clustered our presentations here, and we will have Uriah with us. Is that right? And she talks about the influence of the non-curricular work experience, something we do not maybe perceive as learning, but is of course learning, because we learn every day a lot of things like we know from our own life. So the floor is yours. Yeah.
Make this a picture. Thank you. Do you guys listen to me? Yeah, sort of. So as Ursula mentioned, I'm Mireia Urquia, and I'm going to present our future maybe article called Analyzing the Influence of Non-Curricular Work Experiences on Student-Teachers' Soft Skills. Okay, thank you. But you may ask, why are soft skills important, right? The OECD mentions that the workplace and society is increasingly complex, and because of globalization, technological advancements, the climate-related changes, all of these changes we are facing, right? And in this context, skills, and specifically soft skills, are increasingly important. Can I maybe? Thank you. Work experiences have been previously researched as really helpful for this development of soft skills, maybe more centered on work-based learning, work-integrated learning, dual higher education, but not as much on non-curricular work experiences, right? So in this context, the benefits of work experiences regarding soft skills have been the general development of soft skills, the networking opportunities, but more specifically, non-curricular work experiences are now becoming more research, and some research has found that career efficacy beliefs are developed in these non-curricular work experiences, okay? Flexibility also has been found to be essential to be navigating in the complex workplace that we have nowadays, and higher lifelong learning skills are also important because they lead to a better workplace adaptation. But focusing a little bit more on the sample of our study, which are future teachers or student teachers, why do they need a broad skill set, right? Our classrooms nowadays are increasingly complex. Collaboration among other professionals are becoming essential, with strong communication and adaptability skills. They have found that teachers must be lifelong learners because of these changes that the classroom nowadays is having. And the struggles in building these professional relationships that are key for the classroom may sign that this student or future teacher is not really suitable for the teaching profession. Whoops. Yeah, the other way around. Next one, please. Okay, so dual higher education increases employability skills like communication, networking, relationship building, and then non-curricular work experiences develop essential teaching competencies with a special research finding that social and communication skills have been developed through these non-curricular work experiences. So the research gap would be that the research on soft skills development in specifically non-curricular work experiences in the educational context is limited right now. And also, research has found that communication skills, even though they have been pretty researched, they are still a skill that students frequently lack. Then collaboration among professionals requires a strong communication and flexibility, and research related to professional relationships lacks empirical examination. Non-curricular work experiences also seem to build career efficacy beliefs, I've previously mentioned, and research on lifelong learning skills is emergent nowadays, so we may need more research on these specific skills. So based on this, the study aim would be to examine whether non-curricular work experiences contribute to the soft skills development of student teachers. And the first hypothesis would be that students with non-curricular work experiences demonstrate higher soft skills, that this relationship varies by degree year, and that it also varies by gender. So these are the 5 soft skills that we assessed through our questionnaire, which are some short definitions of each. Could you go on, please? Thank you. Our participants were 712 students from 2 different educational degrees in the Faculty of Humanities and Educational Sciences from Mondragon Universitatea. The questionnaire, we based it on the SECU questionnaire, which is an employability skill-based questionnaire with around 4 and 8 items per skill, and the Cronbach alpha that we found was 0.732. So to answer our first hypothesis, we found significant differences between students with and without non-curricular work experiences, specifically on social competencies, lifelong learning, and communication skills. And so we then focused on those specific skills and interrogated their degree year and gender to see how those variables may play in those skills. So these are the data for social competencies. I will go through them, and then I'll explain it in the results. Could you, yep, thank you. And go on, so this is for social skills, lifelong learning, and communication. And so, because I don't want to bother with specific data, okay? So we found that non-curricular work experiences enhances social and communication skills with no significant interaction in degree year, except in communication skills, which we did find an interaction in the, among the second year students with and without work experiences. But we could, we should do a bit more research on that, but we could say that the benefits apply among all degree years. Then we do have some supporting evidence of this finding, that extracurricular activities do contribute to interpersonal and communication skill development, but this paper does also mention that there is no significant evidence of that paid work specifically helps in this development, that other extracurricular activities also have an influence, so further research would be required to really understand the relationship of these work experiences, other extracurricular activities, and these specific skills. Then we did find that lifelong learning diminishes a little bit throughout the degree year among the students with non-curricular work experiences, and we do hypothesize that maybe the lack of integration from the work experiences and the degree that they are at right now may have an influence on this diminishing. But we do mention that educators may need to align these teaching strategies for developing students' lifelong learning skills. So among the limitations, we didn't really identify, or we didn't really ask what type of work experiences these students are doing right now. So that would be interesting for further research. That we also we do hypothesize that maybe motivation behind going for these non-curricular work experiences, if that may have a little bit of impact in this skill development. And this it's also that this research is specifically centered in a faculty, so we are not really sure about the generalizability of these findings. So further research would be required, exploring this work type and socioeconomic status of the student. Also integrating this with dual higher education programs and comparing these non-curricular work experiences to dual higher education programs would be interesting. Longitudinal studies, of course, and see how these develop throughout the degree, the student, and the influence of lifelong learning really requires research. So in conclusion, there is a positive impact on social skills and communication skills, with a stronger effect in communication in these second year students. Further research is required regarding the students' lifelong learning skills. We did find also gender differences, which I didn't really get into because it's something that is pretty researched right now, and females tend to outperform males in communication skills, and the advantages in social competencies seem to be general across all degree years. Yep. These are the references used throughout the presentation. Yeah, I'll go on, and another one. Thank you.
Thank you. This was like a horse ride through the topic which kept you busy since 2 years, I think.
Yeah, yes.
So thank you very much for sharing your results. It's very, very nice to talk now to the audience.
Thank you.
They have experience. So this is all about, it's about teacher training. So
Yes.
from the education department of Mondragon.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe there are some other people who are busy with teacher training here. No? Okay. Any other questions? Maybe Nagler knows.
I have a question.
Okay.
One second.
Thank you, Iraya, for the presentation. I'm curious about the results about the lifelong learning and lifelong learning skills. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, and also like what kind of skills, lifelong learning skills would be?
Yeah, so it was centered on the students, or let's see, I'll have notes maybe. The ability to secure future employment, develop professionalism, and contribute to job satisfaction. So regarding how suitable are they for the future careers, and are they really aligned with this teaching profession? Like that was the like theoretical context of this skill.
They are really a prominent skill which you need to have maybe incorporated in your personality, but if you don't have, you have enough opportunities to
develop.
Your study.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Any other? You had a question, yeah.
Johannes Haas from Graz, Austria. We all hope that students also develop soft skills on campus, in lectures, in interaction with students and with teachers. So to understand your results, did all these students have the exact same on-campus experience, the same teachers, the same lectures, so that you can actually distinguish between competences developed outside and inside.
Yeah, so we had 4 years students, or students from first, second, and third, and fourth year. They are divided into different classes, but generally we could conclude that they are same faculty, same sort of teachers. We could not distinguish among classes because they are mixed up throughout the...
Difference between teachers, for example, in soft skills.
But they have the same curriculum. So
And they have the same teachers. I'm just asking.
Yeah, that's what I mean, that depending on the module the student is at, they will have one teacher and then another teacher, but these same modules and they're mixed up, and then they have like different teachers. So it's really difficult to really trace the journey that these students are doing in our faculty, because they are always like mixing and coming back, and I'm not sure if I can explain it properly, but.
Maybe this is for research, it is a disadvantage if we have all the individual learning tracks.
Yeah.
It's very difficult then to have a collection of similar programs of similar people to investigate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is true.
But they are all from the same educational science degree, so they do have similarities in that.
So we wish you good luck for your further research.
Thank
We
you.
stay in contact. She is a very active member of Work Package 2, so I appreciate your contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, our third presentation in this first session today is from Michael, also from Mondragon. Yeah, so please let us know about assessment.
Good morning, esteemed colleagues. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Mikel Escurra, and I come from the engineering faculty of Mondragon Unibertsitatea to present our work towards a more objective and holistic assessment in dual higher education, including self-assessment and co-assessment. Amaia Gomendio and David Alonso Mezqui are the co-authors of this work, where we address the challenge of ensuring fairness and consistency when assessing dual activities of our students. As I'm sure you may know, assessing the development and learning of students is challenging. We have identified these 4 issues regarding assessing dual activities, which are the lack of uniformity and objectivity. Grades often tend to be overly positive in these activities. Rubrics can be complex and they give little assistance when grading, and then limited feedback and poor mechanisms for continuous improvement of our students. So we have, in this work, we are going to propose a new rubric to help to address these problems, where the student is going to perform their own self-assessment and also co-assessment between academic and company tutors, and then so that we have a structured feedback for our students. This is how the dual program is structured in our engineering faculty. Our model is a long-term model divided into 2 stages in both bachelor's degree and master's degree. The first stage is optional and takes place in the 2nd and 3rd year of the bachelor's degree and the 1st year of the master's degree. It's optional and students are studying and working part-time. The second stage, which is the degree final project, is compulsory, and in this case it is full-time. In all the stages, our students receive a financial remuneration, as you can see here. And in the circles, you can see the percentage of students that are joining this program along the different years, which goes from 30 to 50% in the optional stage of the bachelor's degree, up to 75% of students in the dual program in our 1st year of master's degree. And of course, it is of 100% in the compulsory stage. This program is 800 students are joining this program every year annually. Students from 10 bachelor degrees and 10 master's degrees. And we have a relationship with more than 200 companies. 3 milestones are defined in our program to do the monitoring of these students. The first one is the workplace integration, which takes place in the first month. Here the tutors and the student are introduced, and the training program is reviewed to ensure the alignment between the technical skills defined for the project, and if these skills are aligned with the curriculum of the student or their degree and studies. Then the mid-apprenticeship review, where the students prepare their written report, and they make a presentation of their achievements so far. Tutors prepare a qualitative assessment at the end of this review, and they give feedback to ensure the possible continued improvement of the students. And then, in the end, the final assessment, where a panel grades the final report of the student and the final presentation and defense of his work. At the end of this stage, the panel determines the final grade of the activity. What you can see here are the 5 dimensions that we have identified for assessing students in dual activities. The first dimension is the technical capacity, and the other ones are the ones related to soft skills that we were speaking about previously, which are for us the written communication, oral communication, work ethic and attitude, and the project analysis impact, the project impact analysis, which covers economic, social, and environmental impact. It's important to say that the grade of the dual activities significantly impacts the final overall grade or mark of the dual activities because of the number of credits assigned to this activity. Our university is committed to increase the number of credits of dual programs, and the breakdown of these credits is the one that is showed in the graph. It goes from 6 and 9 credits in the optional stage of bachelor's degree, 12 ECTS credits in the first year of the master's degree, and goes up to 45 ECTS and 30 ECTS in the degree final projects. I think you will agree that in this sense, this demands that the final overall grade of these programs must be evidence-based and uniform for all the students. Our traditional rubrics identify which are the facts that we have to grade for each dimension. Anyway, however, the lack of written evidence on how we decide what grade corresponds to each item. Tutors are asked to get here recorded written evidence on why, or written evidence to justify what grade they assign to each item. But then what usually happens is that it's not a practical common thing that we get written evidence for all the items. Yes. So we've been working in creating a new rubric which maintains the 5 dimensions we said previously, but the main change is that we have identified facts that help to locate the students into different ranges for each item. The ranges are 10-9, 8-7, 6-5, and less than 5. The tutors have to locate the student in a range for each fact, and this helps to determine the final mark for each dimension, for each item, and then for each dimension. This, as you can understand, ensures evidence-based grading, and then the evidence also is recorded. As an example, the example which is shown here refers to creativity, initiative, and motivation item, which is inside the dimension of work ethic and attitude. Yeah. We've been also working so that this rubric in this rubric we can see the progressive evaluation across all the academic levels, which go from undergraduate apprenticeships to master's degrees projects. This means that extra items are assessed in master's degrees levels, such as undertaking complex multidisciplinary projects, acquiring knowledge beyond their specialization, ensuring a holistic view, and being aware of the impact of their own work. Face-to-face assessments could be lengthy and tough because we've talked about 5 dimensions and several items. So tutors prepare pre-analyzed assessments for each of the dimensions. The academic tutor is responsible for some of the dimensions, and the company tutor takes the responsibility of some other. Yeah? And oral communication is jointly assessed at the end of the presentation, at the end of the defense of the project. Additionally, the student is asked to perform a self-assessment of their own technical capacity. And with all this information, the panel composed by academic and company tutors ratify the final grade of each dimension. This is the moment where they share the impressions to define the final grade for each dimension, and finally they achieve the final overall mark of the student. So as a result of this preliminary analysis of our work, we can say that increased confidence has been identified by both company and academic tutors when assessing objectively and ensuring consistency among students and among degrees and master's degrees, different degrees. We can see that this way company tutors are more involved in our students' training, and stronger connections are achieved between the academia and the world of work. So what are the conclusions that we can draw from our work? I would highlight that our rubric addresses the challenges of assessing students by first standardizing which are the dimensions we should evaluate, we should take into consideration for our students. The second one, by identifying which facts to assess for each item. The third one, having a holistic view of all the participants in dual activities, students, company, and university. And then I would like to say that to ensure success, training is needed for both academic and company tutors, which should cover the significance of dual higher education, the roles and the responsibilities of each tutor, the milestones of the process, guidelines for feedback, and some other things. This is all. Thank you for your attention, and now I would be delighted to answer any questions or comments you may have.
Thank you very much, Mika. This was really a great insight into your subject of engineering, and yep. We can hopefully also transfer it to other dimensions, other subjects in our own university. So thank you. This is really, let's say, a pilot study you did, and you already practice it, I think.
We have, actually we're working with the traditional rubric I've told before, and we've been working in the last years. We've been worried on seeing that it's not the best rubric because it doesn't ensure that different panels are going to grade the same student the same way. So this year, we've been working on the new rubric, which we hope to be implemented next year.
So we will listen to you next year in the next conference.
hopefully.
But now I'm sure there are some topics to be discussed.
Thank you very much. I can very well follow your path of development. Just a short remark. We abolished, after several years, grading by company supervisors, also because the supervisors who did not supervise well gave the best grades.
That's it.
And the supervisors who supervised well and had the best students gave the least grades because they wanted more development.
That's it.
My question is, this is very time-consuming. If you do it in every semester, I have calculated hours of academics doing assessment together. How do you finance that, and how do you argue that in front of your rectorate and management?
The more extended rubric, which takes the 5 dimensions and fully quite extended number of items, is prepared for final degrees, final degree projects in both bachelor's and master's degree. For dual activities, as I told you before, for in the semesters, we have reduced versions of this rubric. When I talked about considering the evolution of the student along their degrees, I'm also talking about that. In the semesters have fewer items to grade, and then we have the bachelor's final degree, which is a complete assessment, which we would like to reduce in time by taking the responsibility to mark it a bit before from both the company tutor and the academic tutor.
So you're working on optimizing.
Yeah, also giving responsibility to them to bring the work and the reflection.
Thank you for your presentation. You have a very detailed assessment. And my question is, how many students have one tutor? And how many hours do they have per student to do this assessment?
How many hours have the tutors, you say?
Yes, the tutors.
Our academic tutors have... Okay. But for our final project degrees, it's 20 hours for the monitoring of the students. We have, where we saw the monitoring of the students, we could see that there is a first visit to the company. The mid-apprenticeship is also performed in the company. And then the final, the assessment is at the university.
Okay, 28 hours per week or per year per semester or per student? Per degree?
Per year. Okay. We estimate that the monitoring of the student is done at the company by the company tutor. So we are responsible for the academic skills to make sure that they are learning and applying those skills. And then the biggest responsibility is to check the final report and presentation. Yeah.
Okay, and how many students does a tutor have?
Not more than 4.
Okay.
Usually 2 or 3, 4. Well, some of them have more, depending on the degree. If it is very specific, very specialized, but otherwise we could have 3 to 5.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
My question would be, how can digitalization support you in this process? So do you have shared documents with your tutors? And what about data?
Now we are working with spreadsheets, but we have a project that it's already working. It's already to prepare a software or a website or a platform where all the information is integrated. That platform goes from the getting the projects from the company, from the interested companies. That's the platform we use to assign projects to students. That's the platform where we want the student to introduce, to to create the planning of the project and to do the self-assessment at specific moments of the project. And that's where we want to implement the rubric, and this is still not done.
So you develop a software for...
It's a platform, it's a website.
Learning journey of a student, you accompany them from when they come to and then you... Okay.
Yeah, and in that platform we have different types of different perspectives, let's say, the student, the company tutors, and ourselves, and each one will have a different role in the platform and different access.
Can a student fail this? And what happens if?
They can fail, but no, they fail. We have some few cases, but usually that fail comes before the presentation. We have, as I said before, the tutor has the responsibility to check the final document and the content of that document, and we have a specific mark that we have to mark that says, okay, you can upload your final document to the system because it's supervised and it's okay, and then the presentation is expected that they will pass. There are some... okay.
Does it happen?
Yeah, the apprenticeships at the undergraduate stages. Yeah. Yeah, this work is mainly looking at the big mark of 30, 45 credits, because we were aware of what you said. No? Companies are overly grading these students, and very good students are having lower marks than not so good students. So we have to do something to make sure that they are consistent.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We are looking